And to you, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Mornings. I am your host, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson. I am also an energy alchemist. I'm an intuitive coach and an energy healer, and I am here to help you. Number one, calibrate your energy. Number two, how to integrate self care into easy, doable steps. And number three, I want to help you shine your light in the world in your own unique way, because there is a way that you can show up that is unique only to you, because there is only one of you. There are many people in the world, but each one of us has our own unique energetic signature, our own unique gifts and talents, and our own unique way of looking at the world. And each one of our perspectives is valid and important. And part of each individual perspective does sort of fill in the other parts of the world so we can get a complete world view, right? If it's just our view, it's very myopic. I mean, like it's not all about how you see things. Everybody sort of has their perspective, but what that does for you as an individual is it validates your experiences. It validates how you view things in your perspective, which is important. You need to validate your own thoughts, opinions, and values, but also understanding that there are other thoughts and, perspectives and values that are also valid, also significant, and also contribute to the whole of our planet here, right? And so it's one of the things that I really like to focus on. And of course, the show's called Me First Mornings. And so it really is about beginning with yourself and understanding and embracing and accepting who you are right now in this moment, always looking forward to evolve and grow, because that's who we are and that's what we do, right? You can love a baby in every single stage, a newborn baby, when they start like figuring out their hands and they start sticking food in their mouth and they get all messy, and then their crawling stage and their walking stage and their talking stage, and they're always evolving, right? It's not like this is the best stage and you stay here. No, you can love and appreciate each stage for where it's at, for the baby's abilities, for how they shine in that moment based on what they know right now. And you can also encourage and embrace the evolution of that baby, right? Moving into the next steps. And we need to apply that to ourselves, right? We need to be able to see where we are in the moment, right? And accept and embrace the situation, whatever it may be, with whatever challenges or perceived limitations. And I say perceived limitations on purpose because sometimes what we think is stopping us is very often the very thing that will catapult us, to that future timeline that we dream of, right? But we have to start with now. We have to start with here. We have to be present in the moment. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the GPS system, because that is basically what the Me First, my entire Me First philosophy, this Me First Mornings, was born out of the GPS system, was born out of the philosophy and that idea that I use for myself and I talk to others about, and I, tell clients about, and we work through this GPS system in order to help everyone sort of connect with their own foundation, connect with their own truth, because you have to connect to your truth. You have to connect to your clarity, right? You have to connect to your vision of the future, of who you want to be, of how you want to show up in the world, of what's important to you, what your priorities are, what your values are, right? And so that's what this is about. The GPS system is basically about you. I mean, it's not like boiling down all those things, right? Like values, perspective. Sure, in a way it is, but that's really just a crude way of of saying it. But it is an anchor, right? The GPS word, the GPS philosophy is about coming up with an anchor, something that can always bring you back to your center, something that can remind you of what your mission is, right? Like sometimes you see in those movies, the pilots are, I don't know what movie I'm thinking of, but in my head, I have a vision of like a fighter pilot, going out to fight a war, and he's got a picture of his love, in on like one of those instruments, the playing instruments, and they has his love there because that's his motivation for facing death and fighting for freedom is because he wants to get back to his love, right? And isn't that true for all of us? We just want to get back to love. We just want to get back to, feeling loved. We want to get back to being connected, right? And that is a very human need, that connection. We all need connection. We all want to feel loved and valued in some way. And so we need to begin with ourselves. You have to love and value yourself and appreciate yourself first. And that means embracing whatever mess you are in right now, even if you caused it, right? Because sometimes it's hard for us to be like, well, I put myself in this mess, right? You're in a relationship that's not working anymore, and you start blaming yourself for choosing the wrong person. You find yourself in debt and you blame yourself for not spending your money appropriately. You find yourself struggling with friends and you blame yourself for not being, however many adjectives you can, come up with to insult yourself, right? We take the blame on. So often we're like pointing the finger and saying like, I'm not good at this. I don't deserve happiness. I don't deserve whatever it is that we imagine in our lives. But you don't have to fight for your happiness. You don't have to fight for your worthiness. It is there, but we have to connect with it, right? So you don't have to fight for it, but you do have to connect with it. And sometimes that might feel like a fight, right? But what it really is a practice. It is a practice where every day you can bring yourself back to your center, right? To your place where you feel in total and complete alignment with your highest self. And what is that highest self? Well, that highest self is your connection to spirit, your connection to source or God, or whatever it is that you believe in that is bigger than you. And if you don't believe in something that is out there that is bigger than all of us, well, then I'm not quite sure why you're watching my channel, but okay, you're entitled to think that too. And this system will still work for you. It will still help you because it is all about taking responsibility for your life, right? I believe that we are co-creating with the universe, but if you remove, right, the whole universe, right, if you suspend your belief of something greater on this planet, then using the GPS system still will help you connect with your own version of happiness, right? It will still connect you with feeling, accomplished or productive or connected in whatever way you need to feel connected as a human, right? And that's up to you to decide. So the GPS system works regardless of your, beliefs or your spiritual framework. That I go within the spiritual framework because that is what resonates with me. But the entire purpose of me first is for you to figure out, well, what resonates with you? What do you feel fundamentally inside connected to, right? What part of what I'm saying you're like, yes, that works for me? And what part are you like, whatever? Well, then that's what you use. You keep what is worth it for you. You keep what you can use, and anything else, you kind of toss it out, right? Just like, there's some people, I'm Portuguese, so I'm just thinking of food, okay? So Portuguese people will literally use every single part of the animal. There are many cultures that use every single part of the animal when they're cooking, but I can tell you for sure, as a Portuguese person, we like, throw everything in a pot and you boil it, and you literally boil every single part of the animal and you eat every part of the animal. I've eaten pig's feet, I've eaten pig ears, I've eaten cow tongue, I've eaten whatever, right? All sorts of entrails, like no problem, okay? I share that with you only to say that there are some people who may not like those types of foods. Maybe they don't like blood sausage or entrails with beans, which is like one of my favorite dishes, dobrada, okay? And for some people that sounds gross. For some people, don't eat meat at all because they don't want to kind of involve themselves in that energetic exchange with animals. And that's okay too, right? So, what do you do as a person who's listening, as a person who's living in this world, right? You take what works for you, and what doesn't work for you, then you send it off, you discard it, you recycle it, you use it in some other way, right? And that's what I'm saying with any information that I give you here on Me First, right? Take what you want to use, right? Use it for the purposes that work for you, that make sense to you, that help you grow and evolve, that make you feel good about your mission in your life, or that at least connect you to your purpose on some level, or just make you smile, or just make you feel good. And then everything else, just like discard it. Just don't worry about it. Allow it to fall on somebody else's ears who may find comfort in the other things that I say, even if for you it doesn't resonate. Okay. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's start our morning ritual together, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the GPS system. All right, so let us light our candle. If you guys are watching, please feel free to say hi, good morning. Let me know that you're watching. If you're watching the replay, write hashtag replay so that, I know that you watch the replay, and let me know if any of this resonated with you. All right, here we go. So light that candle. I have that, you can light my candle, that song in my head again. And it made me think of course, Jonathan Larson, who wrote Rent, which is where that song's from. And I really want to watch Tick, Tick, Boom, and I haven't watched it yet. So let me know if you're watching this and you've seen Tick, Tick, Boom. Let me know if you liked it. And I don't know, just let me know. Andrew Garfield looks awesome. And I can't say I'm a recent convert to Lin-Manuel Miranda, because that's not true. I actually saw it in the Heights on Broadway. But we didn't know who Lin-Manuel Miranda was at the time. Now it's like, now I say, I got to see In the Heights on Broadway, but I haven't seen Hamilton yet. I know, blasphemy, right? How can I be, a musical theater person, or at least I was when I was younger, and I haven't seen Hamilton, but it's true, I haven't. Okay, here we go. I don't know what's going on here. It's all right. I'm a little self-conscious. I am on camera all the time. Okay, so we lit our candle. I use the essential oils. I'm going to grab my clear quartz crystals. You feel free to use any crystal or no crystal. Once again, whatever works for you. But put your hands on your lap, whether or not you're holding crystals. You can put them facing down or facing up, or in a mudra. I like to just hold them with my crystals in my hands, facing up like this. And then we are going to take 3 deep breaths. And remember that the purpose of these deep breaths are for us to clear the energy, to connect with spirit, and to charge our system. Okay. So, hold on. Okay. I literally see, sometimes I come up with things and I'm like, I like that. So I have to write it down. All right. So our whole point of this is to clear our energy, right? To do the cleansing, to connect with spirit, and just take a moment and really just feel source, to feel life force energy, and of course to charge our system, right? What are we charging? Of course, we slept overnight. That's awesome. Maybe you already had some breakfast, some coffee. That's charging, right? But this is energetically charging. So what I want you to do is just imagine that you are opening up the top of your head, and that liquid sunshine, just imagine that powerful solar light, that full of information and, DNA codes and whatever else comes in sunlight. I want you to imagine that it's pouring into your head and just giving your system that healing light that it needs. So literally charging up your system. I want you to imagine that your energy is just like, right, going up. And at the same time, I want your feet well planted on the ground. And I want you to imagine your feet in the ground, just like you would connect a charger to your phone. Your feet are connected to the earth, and they are charging with that planet's life force energy. So that physical life force energy that creates flowers and plants and trees, and that allows and infuses like the buds to push through the earth. So I want you to imagine that beautiful life force energy coming from the earth and that beautiful healing energy coming from the heavens, and just allow yourself to fuel up with that energy as you breathe. And you're going to allow that energy to just break apart, dissipate, or, you know, uh, just disintegrate this energy that doesn't serve you. Anything that's dense, stagnant, or just heavy, right? So any heaviness, any density, any stagnant energy, we're just going to release it with the exhale. So let's do that again. Let's take a breath together starting now. Deep breath in and hold and release. That was good. Okay. We're going to do that again. Once again, I want you to imagine that you are being sort of charged, right? With like that healing energy charging up your body as well as your feet well planted on the ground, and that life force energy coming up through your feet, charging your body, getting you ready for the day, filling you up with all of that love and light that you need to function throughout the day. And hold and release. Beautiful. And now, one more time, last time for today. Deep breath in, make this one count, and really think of increasing your capacity to take in that beautiful healing light, that loving life force energy that surrounds us at all times. Okay, here we go. Last time. And hold and release. Beautiful. Okay. Now it's time to do a little stretching. All right. I always stretch my neck. It's also easier for you guys to see me stretching my neck versus the other parts of my body. But you can take this opportunity to stretch whatever it is that you feel needs the most stretching. If you guys were to hear my back, you'd know my back needs the most stretching because it's cracking like, like those bubble wrap. That's what my back is like. It's like when I stretch out my back, it goes. That's what happens. So clearly, I need to stretch my back, and I need to do this every single day because every single day it cracks like that. We want to clear our vessel, right? We want to clear our vessel. We want to connect with spirit and our ancestors and guides and every being of 100% pure white light that is out there ready to support us and wants to help us. And we're charging up, okay? We are charging for the day. We are fueling up on what is important, right? What are we taking on our journey today, right? We are taking a clear mind. We are taking people who make us feel good. We are taking intentions that will propel us forward. And we are plugging in our GPS coordinates, and that is coming up. Whew. Yes. Okay. That felt good. Honestly, sometimes and I'm going to share this with you, and maybe this works as an analogy for you too. Sometimes when I'm cracking my back, and when I've like lately, I feel like I've been stretching a lot more. I've been cracking like my back and my arms and like parts of my body a lot more. And then I take a deep breath and I feel like I can breathe heavier. I feel like I've released some stuff. And the way I'm imagining it in my head is, those glow sticks, right? You have to break them and then they start to shine. I think that's part of what's happening right now with our, transformation as humans, right? We are, kind of like, we are we are evolving and things are changing, but also we're kind of like, feeling things out and cracking the parts of our personal systems and of our global system that isn't working so that we can start to shine light that we haven't been able to shine before, right? If you can't see what's going on, if you can't observe the issues or the wounds or the traumas that we carry, well, then we can never heal them. And so it feels right now that we are in a time that is so divisive and it's so challenging, and everybody's kind of going through it right now. And I want to send you love and light and my deepest heartfelt, sympathies and love for anybody that's really, really going through it. And I feel you and I'm with you. And I also want to tell you that you are cracking that glow stick so that you can shine your light in the darkness. This is an opportunity for us to step into the people who we already are. And it's just our time to shine, right? You don't have to shine when the sun is shining. When the sun is shining bright, you don't need to turn on any lights. But when you are in the darkness, when you are going through it, then you have to step up and be the light. And that is our job. That is the purpose of Me First Mornings and why I'm here, is to help you see how you are the light that you need. You are the light that we need, right? We all need everyone to be shining their light, because if everybody's shining their light, guess what? We don't see the darkness anymore. It's just not there because of all the lights that are shining. And so that is one of the reasons why I work really, really hard to help you see how amazing and incredible you are. Okay, so now we are at the time where I usually ask you to think about your intention and we talk about the GPS word. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go into that part right now. So, what is the GPS word? What do I talk about? What am I talking about when I'm talking about GPS? Well, what I'm talking about is you need to choose a word or a phrase or a song lyric, or, it can be a whole song. It doesn't matter. It can be whatever you want it to be, but it needs to be. I like to use words. I'm not going to say that it can't be a sound. It can be a sound. It can be whatever you want. That's why Me First is Me First. Like, you choose what works for you. But I can tell you from what I help people with is we usually work together to find a word or a phrase, or like I said, sometimes a lyric or a song, that captures the essence of how you want to feel, right? Something that can really hone in on that feeling that you want to embody each and every day, or what you may think feels like success, right? We all want to be successful in, but success has different meanings for different people, right? Some people might be looking for financial success, other people may be looking for romantic success, professional success. There's all sorts of different avenues to success, and really it's up to you to decide what is your version of success. Or if success is not a word that resonates with you or connects with you, what is your version of achieving everything you want? What is your ultimate dream? Like, if I was to say to you, okay, anything is possible in your life, and you were to paint the picture of what you envision in this perfect world of yours, if everything was to go exactly as you imagine, exactly as you want, right? Think about what that would look like. And you can sort of paint the picture in your mind. You can picture a villa in a nice little island, the sun and the sand and the sea, maybe a beautiful. Can you tell I've given this some thought? I don't know. I have many different visions of what that feels like, but I can tell you for myself personally, it's always a big open space. And it's it kind of like vacillates between beach or mountain, preferably a place where I can kind of, drive to one or the other, right? Like, I think I'd like a place with lots of greenery and open space and be close enough that I can go to the beach. I don't know where that exists, but this is in my head. So, that's me painting the picture. I picture myself, having a coffee, staring out into the distance and seeing beautiful trees and maybe mountains, although mountains are, not necessary, but like, I just see like a lot of space and a lot of greenery and a lot of nature, and feel myself connecting with nature, right? And so what does that really boil down to? What is it that I really want to feel? That's how I would ask you, right? Like, whatever your vision is that, what is that feeling that that you think about? What is that feeling you have when you think about this vision? Well, for me, one of the words that comes up when I think about that vision is spaciousness, right? Just having the room to move, having the room to think, feeling like, there is no limitation, right? Because when you're in a really big, spacious place, you don't see limitation, right? You can like go out and look until the ends of the earth, and you're like, wow, there's like, it's so much, um, it's like, you can look as far as you can and you don't see anything stopping you, right? Like you see no boundaries, right? Everything is limitless. That's what that feels. And maybe limitless is a good word, right? And so you play with it a little bit and you play with the feeling and you play with, what it brings you, right? So you might be like, is it limitless? I want to feel limitless. I want to feel spaciousness. I mean, I can tell you another word that comes up for me a lot is ease, right? I want to feel the ease. I don't want to fight so much. I don't want to work so hard, right? And it's not that I'm not willing to work, right? And that may be the case for you too. We naturally work all day. We are constantly doing something. We are constantly taking action. We are constantly in motion, right? But it's kind of this pointless motion. It's almost like this hamster on a hamster wheel. I mean, yes, you're, cleaning things or doing things or getting things accomplished or handing in papers or doing a report or handing a presentation and you're doing things, but you have to be connected to it. Like, is that what's bringing you joy? And maybe your job brings you joy. Maybe your day to day life at home brings you exactly what you need, in which case, you know, you probably are already doing this without even realizing that you have your own GPS word where you're like, nope, anything that takes me out of this beautiful comfort zone is nothing that I want to deal with. And if that works for you, then that's great. But I want to teach you how to use the GPS system to keep moving even past any challenges that you might face, any obstacles that may come your way, any limitations that you see for yourself. We can use the GPS word in order to apply that word. Now, how do you apply it, right? So let's go to my words and let's say spaciousness and ease. So those are the two words that come up with me most frequently. So often, and sometimes, like, there's other things that I want. One of the words that comes up also is savor. I want to be able to savor things. And so I have like a little mantra that I'm constantly reminding myself: savor it, savor it, savor it, savor the moment, savor the present, savor these times, right? Like, my kids are, not babies anymore, but they're a little bit older. My youngest is 9, my oldest is 13, right? And so it's a really great time and it's tough in its own ways, but also amazing in its own ways. And regardless, I'm going to miss it in 5 years. I'm going to miss where we are right now as a family in 5 years. So I remind myself, savor it, savor it, savor it, savor these moments, savor the cuddles, savor the fact that they need you so much right now, right? So you got to keep that in mind. And the same thing goes with other things in your life, right? So whatever your word is, and like I said, let's say it's spaciousness or ease. If I'm faced with a challenge, let's say someone calls me and they want to make an appointment with me, right? And let's say that my schedule is full, right? But this is someone who wants to see me and make an appointment and talk to me. So what do I do? Do I make room for them in my calendar, right? Or do I have them, make an appointment when at my next available date, which might be next week? So I'm going to bring my keyword, my GPS word into play here, which is spaciousness. So when somebody asks me something like, for example, do you have time for me? I have to consider whether or not helping this person, right, and satisfying this need or this request is going to feel spacious for me, right? And I may be able to move things around in my schedule because there's other things that are important to me too. For example, showing up authentically to support people. And I will almost always drop everything that I'm doing when somebody needs my help. But this is where it becomes important for me to really stick to the word, the GPS word, really stick to my boundaries that are connected with that word. Because if my issue, and this isn't exactly my issue, but I'm just going to use this as an example. Or maybe this is your issue. If your issue is that you are constantly putting your needs aside for somebody else, that whenever anybody needs you, that you stop everything and you help them, then the boundary that you need to put in place is usually like, you have to make sure that you are serving from a full cup, right? And so you have to set boundaries and say, okay, ideally, my schedule for work is going to be this. Um, I'm going to leave a little wiggle room for things that come up because we always do. But I will not see clients on the weekend, for example, right? I will not see clients or I will not do work on the weekend. Now, weekends are sacred. It's when I spend time with the family, right? Or Friday nights are sacred. That's when I have my own personal date night with myself where I do what I want to do for myself. And so if somebody says to you, hey, do you have some time in your calendar because I could really use some support? How's 7 o'clock on Friday night? Right? Not that anybody's going to want your support but you never know. So if you've set up that boundary for yourself, right? If your word is, like my word is spaciousness, can I serve this person while still keeping that feeling of spaciousness around me? Can I shuffle the other clients that I have? Can I adjust my schedule? Can I add her in so that I can both satisfy that need to be present and to help someone and support someone in their time of need, while also making sure that I am honoring my GPS word, which is spaciousness? So if I can't fit them into my schedule and feel spacious, then my answer is going to be no, and say, you know what, it doesn't work for me this week. I can't fit you in, but I have an opening next Wednesday. I would love to support you at that time. And then the person chooses whether or not they want that support at that time or if they want to go talk to somebody else. And that's okay. We need to be able to state our truth. We need to be able to create our boundaries, and we need to be able to connect to that GPS word and always act from that place. Because if you are always acting in a way to maximize the word, right? To maximize, in my case, with this example, if I'm always maximizing spaciousness, well, then each and every time I do something that creates space, guess what? I'm going to feel spacious. And so by taking the action to create space in my life, whether it's physical space, right, by decluttering, or whether it's like, making sure that my schedule isn't too cramped, that I'm not seeing clients like back to back to back, right? So that if my schedule is spacious, if my home is spacious because I've cleaned and cleared out anything that doesn't serve me, well, then I am embodying my GPS word. And guess what? When you practice embodying your GPS word each and every day with each and every decision, before you know it, you are in your GPS word 90% of the time, right? You are feeling that word 90% of the time. So if you were to feel that word that connects you to the vibration of having everything you want, and you feel that way 90% of the time, guess what? Things just flow better, right? And you start to recognize, hey, I have created this life where I feel spacious. I have created this life where I feel abundant. I have created this life where I feel peace, right? It's in your hands to create it. And as you create it in each and every moment, and make sure that your commitment to embodying your GPS word, if that becomes your focus, then you are going to embody it more and more with each and every step. And eventually, that vision that you have for the future, it is just naturally going to unfold that way because you are applying that feeling to every choice, to every moment, to every decision and action you take. It's always with that in mind, with the idea that you are creating that in your life. Okay, I have not pulled a card yet, and we're way over time. Hi, Vaughn. Nice to see you. I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you? Okay, let's see here. I'm going to pull a card, and then we're going to end it for today. I just feel really passionate about the GPS system because I think it's really helped me so much in making decisions. And more importantly for you, I guess, it has helped many, many people who I have worked with. This GPS system is just something, it's a way for you to practice what you want, right? Practicing getting what you want, practicing creating what you want, even if it's something small, right? You start small. Hi, Yvonne. I do the cards. I pull cards for the viewers on Fridays. Usually during the week, I just talk about um, the things that come up for me, and also, give pointers and tools and strategies with how to sort of face the day each and every day. But I do pull a card for the collective, so you can see which card I'm pulling. I'm sure it will connect with you because I find that the cards are always sort of connecting with the collective. Um, oh my goodness, I forgot to do our what's it called? Our prayer. So let's do that right now. Whatever GPS word that you came up with, and I do have the GPS workbook for anybody who's interested in doing this on their own. You don't necessarily need to book a session with me. You can absolutely do this on your own. Just download the GPS workbook, and it's going to take you through step by step the questions that I created to help you figure out what your GPS word is, what your state of alignment is. What is that word? What is that phrase that captures what you want to embody to create the life that you so want and you totally, absolutely deserve? Okay, so let us set that intention. Hold your intention right now in your mind. And I will just call in for angelic support to help us keep that intention for the day. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, and all beings of 100% pure white light. Allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay, so now I'm just going to pull a card for the collective. Yvonne, if you're here, let me know if the card resonates with you. That would be awesome. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, so here we go. Yes, I always pull cards on Fridays, and this week I pulled on Monday, also because it was Valentine's Day, and I thought it would be fun. Sometimes I pull them at other times. All right, here we go, guys. I'm so late today. That's all right. GPS is an important conversation. All right, look at this. This is like, it couldn't have been more perfect. Number 37, cleaning house. This is literally what we were talking about. It is time to clean house. It is time to clean up your energetic field. It is time to declutter physically and energetically all the things that don't serve you. And guess what, people? It's a full moon today, which means this is the perfect time for you to remove the things in your life that do not serve you. Just disconnect from any toxicity that is not serving you. Disconnect from anything that is not bringing you joy or is not leading you to something that will eventually bring you joy. Because sometimes we got to be in the shit, right? We have to have crappy things around us because it's just part of our life. It's just part of our obligation. It's just part of what we need to face right now. And that's okay as long as you can see it as just the crappy part you need to go through before you can get to the good stuff, right? And I want you to really think about what you want your life to entail. And anything in your life, whether it be physical, energetic, or emotional, anything that's not serving you, I want you to feel free to release it. And if you want to do a releasing ceremony in the full moon, even better. All you have to do is write it down on a piece of paper, write down all the things that you are ready to release. Ask the goddess of the moon to support you in releasing it. Burn that paper and then let it go. And let spirit and source take the rest away, right? And just surrender to what comes next. And know that at the very least, some layer will be released, a layer of that stuff that you want to heal that will be released. Maybe not all of it, maybe it will come up again, but I have been consistently doing it, for a few years where I release, self-judgment, where I release mainly self-judgment, okay? And I'm telling you, I have seen a difference. I feel differently about myself. I have seen how that's affected my life in beautiful and positive ways. So take the time today to clean house, right? And release any and all things that do not serve you for your mission from this point forward. I really wish you all the best. If you need any support in the midst of this process, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here every Monday through Friday. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to Jumpstart for Change on YouTube. And please press the subscribe button, ding that notification bell, and even better, share it with your friends, whoever you think may benefit from watching the show. I'll be here again tomorrow at 10 a.m. every Monday through Friday. I'm here. Don't miss it. I'll see you then. Bye.